Forza Horizon 5. Now, we know that it's more than likely going to be announced here in about a month or less at E3, and to be honest, I'm quite excited. So, because the game is coming soon, I thought, let's make a wish list. Now, to be honest, it's probably a little bit late to be making a wish list, but I at least hope that if Playground or someone from Playground sees this, I hope that they can at least add some of these features post-launch, or maybe even take these into consideration for the next game. Here are some of my suggestions that I think could honestly improve the Horizon series. Well, and more specifically, Horizon 5. But real quick, let's go over what we do know. So we know, well, we kind of don't know, but we assume it's going to be in Mexico, which, to be honest, I think would be pretty sick. Obviously, we all want Japan. It's gonna happen eventually. We just have to be patient for it. I think they're waiting for the right technology. Because Horizon 5 is going to be on Xbox One and the next-gen consoles, Xbox Series X and S, I think they're kind of limited in what they can do, and I think they want to be able to do Japan right. So I think they're waiting for the technology and maybe even the consoles after the Series X to be able to do so. And who knows, maybe Japan will come out when the next console comes out, because that would be pretty cool. Regardless, I think Mexico would be pretty sick though. I mean, you got mountains, you got deserts, you got beaches, you got so many different cool things. You have like the WRC that goes there, and their stage that they do there is pretty cool too. But not only that, right now you have to remember Horizon 5 was basically developed fully from home. The developers were trying to get through it just as much as we were and trying to figure out how to get through it. So also, I think it would be best for it to come out after this next motorsport game, just so we can adopt the technology that they bring into this next motorsport and put it into the Horizon game. I think that would be pretty cool too. Now, let's quickly talk about maybe a release date that we might see Horizon 5. Maybe the soonest we'll even see some gameplay. So Forza Horizon 3 was released on September 27th. Forza Horizon 4 was September 28th. Now, following that pattern, if we just go day by day, that means Horizon 5 might come out September 29th, maybe? Either way, it's just gonna come out probably late September, is my guess. And I truly believe that we'll be seeing our first bit of gameplay and a trailer on June 12th at E3 this year, which I will be streaming it here on this YouTube channel, so make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss that, because you're not gonna want to miss it. So mark your calendars, June 12th. I don't know what time just yet, but just make sure you're subscribed with all notifications on, so click that dang bell and turn all notifications on so you don't miss the stream, because trust me, I think a lot of you guys want to be able to see the Horizon 5 gameplay. So, and I might even have some extra little secrets that E3 is giving me in the stream, so you might want to tune in. Alright, so going from what we do know to what I kind of want to see in the game, the festival vibes. We kind of missed out on that this year. Now, I like the idea of moving for the Horizon life. It's not just a dream vacation, whatever. Although, I think that's kind of what Horizon was all about, is the dream vacation, that dream summer of being able to go to like Venice or Australia and just have a great summer based around cars and music. I think that festival vibe needs to come back. Personally, I think FH2 and FH3 had the best festival vibes in terms of just the environment, you know, the stages, the crowd, along with getting rid of the whole Horizon life idea and going back to that like dream summer. I think they definitely need to get rid of seasons, or at least give us the option to choose what season we are in. And I'll get into how they could probably implement that here in just a second, but seasons just aren't it. At least let us choose like what seasons we're in. I think it would be cool though, instead of seasons, to have like extreme weather, such as like thunderstorms or like dust storms, whatever the case may be. I don't know what, I mean, just whatever kind of extreme weather Mexico might have. I don't really know. I'm not a meteorologist. But on top of the festival vibes, obviously with a festival, you have to have music. So the music choice in Forza Horizon 4 was a bit of a miss. I'm gonna be honest. I think Bass Arena is arguably one of the more favorable radio stations in the game, which is obviously more EDM based. In my personal opinion, the song selection in Forza Horizon 2 was fantastic. The song selection in Forza Horizon 3 was arguably almost as good. I mean, they had a ton of huge songs from people like Skrillex, Diplo, Oliver Heldens, Galantis, etc. Whereas Horizon 4, sure, they got like a couple of Marshmello songs on there, and I mean, to be honest, that's all that's memorable to me is Fly by Marshmello. But that's pretty much it. I think for Horizon 2 and Horizon 3, the soundtrack is honestly what made the game memorable to me, whereas Horizon 4, I mean, for one, it doesn't help that I just didn't have the radio on in general, because I make content and copyrights, and that I don't want music playing in my videos to get copyrighted, so I don't really have the music on in the game in general, but I have listened to the like entire soundtrack like numerous times, and to be honest, there's just really not much there that's that memorable to me. Horizon 2 soundtrack, I could listen to that all the way through and be like bopping the entire time. Horizon 3, pretty much just about the same thing. And listen, Playground, if you need a couple of people to give you some good suggestions of what songs you could probably try and go after for Bass Arena, hit up my boy Justin HTI or I. We're super knowledgeable with with EDM, and I think we would be able to provide one of the most memorable soundtracks in the game. Obviously, licensing might be an issue, but we could at least give suggestions. That's the least we could do. Trust me, Playground, we got you. So this one's a little bit more obvious, but we need more customization. Obviously, the customization in Horizon 4 was very good, but I think we just need a little bit more, because you have games like Need for Speed that allows us to customize every little almost every little detail about cars, whereas Horizon 4, we're still a little bit restricted. I mean, it's like we have the technology to do a lot more than what we currently have, and I am honestly proud of Playground for bringing in things like being able to customize like the color of your wheels, the dish, the stuff like that, but like custom brake caliper colors, but just a bunch of those little like customization features would be super sick in the next Horizon, I think. And to be honest, even things that we haven't seen in a Horizon game before, like window banners and stickers, which I know they've mentioned before is a little bit tricky to develop, but it can't be too insanely tricky. I don't know. I'm not a developer, but I'm just saying. It would be cool. One thing that I am also very proud of Playground Games for doing over the lifespan of Forza Horizon 4 is the post-launch support, adding more cars as the time goes on. I think that was incredible. I think they need to do that for the future games, especially this next one. They need to keep adding cars to keep things interesting, and in my opinion, the communication with the community was pretty on par. Now, we had our couple little hiccups here and there, but we're not going to get into that. Other than that, I mean, Playground Games did pretty well at keeping the community satisfied, you know, keeping updates coming to the game, bringing new things to the game. You know, we got Super 7, the Eliminator, two very great updates, by the way, and I think that we need to see those two things to make a return in Horizon 5, the Super 7 being able to have custom routes and custom little, like, mini-game type things, and like the Eliminator, we need to see that back at Horizon 5, because I genuinely think if we see that at launch, that could be a great selling point, and I think that will genuinely diversify what you can do in the game, which is what Horizon 4 needed, because there was just not really that much to do at launch. I would also like to see some creator/community input. Now, I know that they do listen to the community, and I know that they listen to what the community wants, but more so, I think that Playground Games could take to the content creators, because us content creators, we know how to keep the game interesting. That's kind of our job. I think allowing us to at least suggest ideas of what we could possibly see in the game would be incredible. And not to discredit Playground Games any, they've been doing some really good things with some really cool updates, but I definitely think that us content creators can improve the game quite a bit, just with some ideas that we might have, some little improvements here and there. And like I said, our job is to entertain, so we know how to keep the game interesting. I mean, in the same sense that we know how to keep people watching is kind of the same thing. We would probably have some good ideas that would keep people playing the game for longer. So Playground Games, hit us up, or me up, or whoever. Just hit us creators up, let us have some input. That would be awesome. So the online experience for Forza Horizon 4 was interesting. In my opinion, it was a big miss. I would much rather prefer Horizon 3's online system compared to Forza Horizon 4's. I do like the innovative thinking of having the 72-player lobbies and having that shared experience with a much larger lobby of people and having a lot more real people driving around and you see those people on the map. I think that's cool, but I would rather see a mix of like FH3's online system and FH4's. I would love to see a 72-player lobby return, just kind of like a shared open experience. I think that makes the game feel a lot more lively, but I would also like to see private lobbies return. Now, we have convoys in FH4, but that doesn't really mean private lobbies. And as a content creator, we've run into so many situations where we're trying to take a thumbnail or do something for a video, and there's just a bunch of people crowding up around us or trying to get in the thumbnail, whatever the case may be. Or, I mean, regardless, I think a private lobby might even help the online system and the connectivity issues, because I know a lot of people had issues connecting to even my lobbies and just everyone's lobbies in general, just because of how many players there were in the servers. Now, I understand 72 players, there's a lot of people trying to connect to one server, but I think having a private lobby of 12 to 16 to maybe even 24 people would be super cool. We've had private lobbies in the past that you could go up to 12 people, but I think we definitely have the technology now to allow up to at least 16, maybe even again 24, because we've had 12-player lobby limits for a while now, and I think it's definitely time to up that. But I think also having those private lobbies would help the connectivity issues, so you're not having 72 people that you're trying to connect to. Instead, you're only trying to connect to 16 to 24 people, making the online connectivity experience a lot more enjoyable, I think. Something that I think would be really cool for private lobbies is being able to customize the rules, restrictions, things like that. So if you wanted to have like a C-class lobby or a B-class lobby, where it's just nothing but B-class, or maybe damage just on simulation, or maybe you just want to do manual only, whatever the case may be, I think having those options to customize our private lobbies, that we can have those those themed lobbies, I think that would be super cool too. That'd be a really good touch. Oh, also, we need various playground map sizes, because in Horizon 4 with like the infection or survival game modes, those little mini games, you had 5 maps, which is cool, but I really missed the feature in Horizon 3 of being able to choose like a very small map, a medium map, large map, having those different variants of each map. Oh, I wish we would have had that in Horizon 4. So please, it's so simple to do. Playground, I'm pretty sure it's simple. Again, I don't know, but please bring that into Horizon 5, because I really miss the variety of being able to switch it up. And maybe if I have a lobby of 24 people, putting it on a very small map, it would be hectic, and I think that would be kind of funny, to be honest. So please add different like sizes for the Playground Games maps. That would be incredible. Plus, it allows us to switch it up and keep things a little bit interesting. As far as the map goes, obviously we all want to keep seeing the map sizes improve and get bigger, but obviously they're kind of limited on what technology they have. They're trying to keep it on the last gen Xbox One console, so they're kind of limited to the size that they can put it. I mean, right now it's pretty much as big as it can get for Horizon 4, so I would imagine the map size for Horizon 5 is going to be very similar to Horizon 4's, which honestly, in my opinion, it's not all that horrible. I mean, the Horizon 4 had a pretty decently sized map. It's not small. But for other things I would like to see in the map, I definitely want to see a racetrack, whether that be something similar to what they did with the Lego expansion, where there's like an oval with an actual racetrack in the middle, or whether we just see a simple like road course racetrack. That would be pretty sick too. I think having a pretty big like interstate loop would be sick, and even multi-story parking garages, that would be amazing. Having more of an ability to have a bigger car meet, more organized car meets that seem more realistic, I think that would be super cool. Now, the interstate loop and the parking garages are more of like a Japanese kind of style kind of vibe, but I think even having that in Mexico would be pretty sick, as well as, I mean, obviously a big city, maybe too. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much. I don't know. So the car sounds, you knew it was gonna be here. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm not really gonna talk about it, but we all know there needs to be improvements made on the car sounds. I'll leave it there. Also, I mean, it's kind of, we all want to see it, I think. I mean, I know that most people got hyped about it for Horizon 4 when they saw the trailer. I know I did. Bikes. Now, I think Forza is obviously more of a car-based game, so bikes kind of would be just, it wouldn't exactly make sense necessarily, but I do think having street bikes in the game would be pretty dang sick. Like having a Ninja or like an R6 or something, I think having those would be so cool. Plus, I mean, imagine having like a little like dirt bike track or something. I don't know. That would be pretty cool, I think. Either way, whether we see bikes in Horizon 5 or not, I think it'd be cool to see in the future. It would just keep things interesting, I think, at this point. Also, progression. I think progression is something that we really need. Back in FH1, you would fight up against these like very well-known people in the game or whatever, and you would race for their car essentially. And then in FH3, you had the midnight battles where you would basically race for your opponent's car. I think seeing those things back would be very cool. It'd make them challenging too, because just having a free race and then getting a free car, the car doesn't feel as special. You don't really feel like you worked for it. And I really feel like making sure that we don't hop in a Lamborghini in the first 5 minutes is really important. I think making us start out in a Corrado, like in FH1, I think something like that would be super cool to see again. Making sure that we actually have to play the game and grind and build our way up to be able to get the cool cars. Plus, I mean, having those stakes of like having a pink slip race, whether you can do pink slips against other players for their cars, that would be cool. Or having pink slips against other bosses for their car, and if you lose, they take your car and you have to go fight for another car to get it back to race them. That would be pretty sick too. Having those stakes, I think, would make it feel so much more special if we actually do win those cars. Those are some features that I really want to see in Horizon 5, whether those are added post-launch or added into the next game. I want to know what you guys would want to see though. Comment down below at least 2 things that you want to see in the next Horizon game. I would love to hear what you guys think, if you guys agree with me, or maybe just add to what I said. But make sure you subscribe with all notifications on so you don't miss the stream of us reacting to Forza Horizon 5 getting revealed live at E3. Remember, June 12th is when the live stream will be, so make sure you are there to see Forza Horizon 5 first. I'm excited. Subscribe. God, it was a mistake wearing a hoodie. I am hot.